And it's bourbonblog.com live. Tonight we are talking about these wonderful Sōmrus Cream Liqueurs, and it's Monica Badlani. She is the COO and partner of Sōmrus Cream Liqueurs. They're Indian-inspired flavors, and we have a big announcement and a big unveiling of one of your new flavors tonight, don't we, Monica?
That's correct, Tom. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I have, ever since I found, I think right when you all first began, I met some of your team at Tales, and I immediately was like, the flavors are so truly authentic Indian. They're so beautiful for cocktails or by themselves. Just for people that have never tried these, let's just do a little overview. Tell us about Sōmrus.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the genesis of this is sort of interesting. We have maybe about 10 years ago, the two co-founders, Swati and PK Garg, noticed that there wasn't anything actually in the liqueur space that represented Eastern flavor profiles at all. And so they started researching and found that actually the cream liqueur space in general had very little innovation. And so they decided they were going to create this delicious line of liqueurs, very sexy, very versatile, high quality in terms of like gluten-free, sessionable, easy drinking, all that fun stuff. And so here we are today, essentially 10 years later from the first sort of iterations of the R&D, and we've got 3 amazing liqueurs that are going to be on the market. 2 of them are already on the market, and one's about to launch. So,
yeah, these are so tasty, and the flavors are just so deep and authentic. So that's part of what inspired it. Was there was nothing out there like this, right?
Yeah, no, it's quite interesting, right? You think about like how much innovation is out there in spirits in general, and the craft spirits market has just boomed, and so there are so many people out there that know so much about liqueurs and just spirits in general in terms of flavor profiles, at-home mixology, all this stuff. And in this space, there was really just a handful of cream liqueurs that were available on the market until recently. And so, yeah, this is something that's a little bit different than your typical vanilla, and cinnamon that's out there.
Well, as you know, as I've been telling you today, I'm a big fan of Indian cuisine and culture. And whenever we were trying these the other night, we actually grabbed some Indian food and paired it with these, and it really is incredibly complimentary. In fact, in a little while, I'm not going to make a mess on camera, but I'm going to show everybody I have some wonderful samosas and chutneys that we're going to pair these with here in a little while. And they are really amazing with Indian food. With like the mango, I felt like I was really sitting down to like the best boozy mango lassi, right?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we have the 2 flavors that you've already tasted are the chai and the mango, and then the coffee that's just coming out. And Tom, I think you got a bottle of coffee before I did. Like it's literally just coming off the production line. So those are the 3 flavors that are very traditionally Indian. And I think it's quite fun because people will recognize these flavors even if they haven't tasted Indian cuisine before.
Right. Absolutely. No, these are amazing, and we are very proud tonight. We'll get to the coffee in a moment to be the first to really help you unveil the coffee here on Bourbon Blog. It's beautiful. It's supposed to capture some of the is it the South Indian? Is it called kapi? Is that how I say it?
That's correct. Yeah. So everyone thinks about India, they think about chai, so that's tea, and that's really consumed mostly in North India. But in South India, they have this really lovely Arabica bean coffee with chicory in it, and that's what is in that bottle.
Sort of like what we see in New Orleans with the hickory flavor, but this is it's that Indian flavor with the hickory.
Well, it's so funny because it actually comes from the same place, and so it came to India from France, and that's where it came to New Orleans from as well. So think about how connected we were, back in the day, right? So it's really fun, and it's the same chicory flavor that you will see in New Orleans. So we're excited what they do with that.
That's incredible. Well, why don't we start off just for people that maybe, tell us down below, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, if you've tried any of these Sōmrus, what you all mix it with, or if you haven't tried them, first of all, I recommend you try them, but tell us just what you're drinking tonight down below, or ask any questions that you might have for Monica. Someone had just asked, and we might not have said it, these are all rum based. So the actual base of all of these is rum from the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's correct. So they're rum spiked liqueurs, cream liqueurs, and so they are really made with sort of 5 times distilled rum, cream from Wisconsin. They're made in the U.S., so they're made with cream from Wisconsin. That's why we call them Indian inspired, because they're just traditional Indian recipes, but we wanted to make it here. Very, very proud to be made in the U.S. And so it's quite fun. When people taste it, it's something just very unique and different for them. So
you may be the first brand that has brought together Wisconsin, Caribbeans, and India.
Right. It's like,
is there possible? You can't be more diverse than that. I mean, you brought the whole world together here.
That's right. We're connecting everyone together. So
I like that. I think it's really fun to think about how a product can have so many different places that inspire it and where it's made, and it ends up just being an incredible product. Well, why don't we just start off by trying is it the chai you want to taste first?
Yeah, let's do the chai first. That sounds
Let's do the chai first. And again, there's that bottle. Once again, this amazing bottle that I've never seen a bottle like this used for alcohol before that I know of.
Yeah, I know. So we were chatting about this a little bit too, but it's essentially a modern take on an ancient decanter. So, we've got these sort of age-old recipes that people are familiar with, but we wanted to sort of have this sort of next generation cream. So that's where the bottle comes from, is this ancient Indian decanter.
Excellent. All right. So this chai, I've always been a fan of chai. What did you put into this chai to make it like?
Yeah, sure. Well, first, cheers.
Yes, cheers. Is there a toast that Sōmrus has?
I get this question a lot. How do you say cheers in Hindi? And it literally is cheers.
Cheers.
So you're speaking.
I can remember that one easily.
Exactly. So actually, I wanted you to tell me, what are you smelling on the nose? Because this is a really lovely bouquet. And so it took a long time, about 4 years to develop. And so that the nose matches the liquid, it sort of unveils over time different flavor profiles. Right. I think at the beginning, you're going to get a little bit of cardamom.
That's what I was, cardamom, some of those nice Indian chai spices, the cardamom, maybe a little bit of cinnamon. I mean, it has some of those real nice, light, delicate vanilla. It's just really, it's light, but yet it has a nice complexity to it.
Yeah, so what you're smelling right there is cardamom, and then it's got pistachio, almond, saffron, and rose. And it actually has like a pinch
of that nice floral nature.
Yes, and it has a pinch of turmeric in it as well. So it'll be fun when you taste it. I want you to share what's happening over time, because it actually unveils different flavors as you taste it from the beginning to the finish.
And all of these ingredients, incredibly, especially turmeric, all these things are really good for you too. So.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
We can drink to our health here.
Absolutely. Really. So we also wanted to make it so it's lighter viscosity, you'll notice, right?
Yeah, it is.
Very mixable, but it's also very easy drinking. So
yes,
put some ice in this and consume it, and it's not going to leave you with a heavy feeling at all.
That rose, okay, so in the first, I think I get the cardamom, the spices off the top. That rose, that floral nature really does unveil itself more mid-palate towards the end.
Yes.
And really just opens up a little bit honeyed. It's very, for cream liqueurs, and there's some good ones out there. I mean, fortunately, it's something that I've tasted since we all tasted Bailey's when we were, a lot younger.
Yes.
There's been more and more that have come out, but these are, as you were saying, very, very light, easy to drink, and just so flavorful and complex. Is there a way you all went about putting the complexity into this? Is it tougher to do with cream liqueurs?
Well, I think it's very tough to do in general. So, the cardamom, if you're familiar with that spice, it's a very intense spice. It is very easy to overpower everything else with just the cardamom, right? So dialing up the cardamom, there's actually 2 different types of cardamom. There's green and there's brown cardamom in there. So, the idea is that you want to give that the exact right ratio so that you get the cardamom, but it's not overpowering. So just dialing that up and down took a few years actually of back and forth in terms of development of the liquid. And then, essentially a couple other things. The focus here was on how people should feel when they're drinking it versus just the flavor profile, right? So you'll notice there's no real afterburn to this. It feels a little bit like you're drinking a very low ABV product, even though it's 13%, So that was also taken into consideration. And then, the cream allows it to be a very authentic in terms of Indian recipes in some ways. People will be very familiar with this taste if they have Indian food.
You wanted it to be something that you could drink any season, any purpose, whether it's hot out or cool or whatever it might be, with that lighter viscosity. Because I think a lot of cream liqueurs we think more for winter or for fall, but these you could certainly do a refreshing cocktail out of. In fact, I think we both have a refreshing cocktail near us that actually has this all. It all comes back to bourbon too. We got rum, we got bourbon.
That's right.
I think a lot of people probably, if you had to guess down below, I don't know if they can guess quick enough, but I think most people probably can guess what this is. This is a mint julep that is made with the chai.
Yep.
Might be the first chai mint julep I've ever had. How do we make this?
Yeah, so essentially the ingredients are you're really just adding chai to your regular mint julep recipe. So it's about 2 ounces of Sōmrus chai, 1 ounce of your favorite bourbon, and then half an ounce of simple syrup. And we actually put a little bit of vanilla in the simple syrup as well to add a little bit of complexity to that.
Wow.
And you're going to espresso your mint just like you normally do. You're going to shake up the other ingredients in a shaker with ice. And then you're going to pour it into a mint julep glass with crushed ice, and you're going to enjoy it. And it tastes a little bit like, what does it remind you of? I've heard that it reminds people of almost like a mint julep ice cream.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. Mm-hmm. It is kind of like a mint julep ice cream. We, of course, in Kentucky, we always have so many. They infuse mint julep into everything around Derby. Of course, we missed Derby this year. It's going to be in September.
Yes.
But I'm actually using some mint julep glasses tonight myself that come from my family. These are about these are actually over 50 years old, which is kind of fun. So whenever Derby happens, my mom breaks them out, and we get to use these old mint julep cups. Usually we're in Kentucky at Churchill Downs. This year, obviously, we missed it, but it's nice to have some nice variations on mint julep as we lead up to September. So this is definitely one that I think is going to be a nice twist, like that ice cream flavor, right? Because it's a National Ice Cream Day is coming up, isn't it? From what I remember.
I love these national days. They're quite fun to celebrate things together. It's funny with Derby because we were also going to be part of the Taste of the Derby this year before it got moved. And it's quite fun because, mixologists are looking for ways to have innovative mint julep recipes. And so we've been working with some folks down there just to be able to offer something different. It's so reminiscent of a typical mint julep, a traditional mint julep, and then you add the chai and it just adds a newness to it that people aren't expecting. So it's quite fun. So we still plan to see what's happening with Derby, in September 5th, I think is when they moved it to, right? So we're going to try to do some fun stuff with it. We're going to be celebrating for sure. We've got our glasses. They're not 50 years old, but we'll be celebrating for sure.
Well, we have some that are newer too. We have all kinds. We have a kind of a collection of mint julep glasses we like to bring out. Now, we did get a question, of course. And thanks for watching, Donald Snyder. The liqueurs sound amazing. Quick 2 to 3 ingredient cocktails. Okay, so there's one. Was the mint julep, and I used kind of a 100 proof plus bourbon in this because I thought, hey, I want to really taste the bourbon. Yes. But I think it's really a nice balance. Any other like real simple cocktails that you think are really nice to do with any of these, the chai, the mango, any?
Yeah, and so Donald, thank you for the question. I don't even know Donald, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you because that's
great.
That we can definitely answer, that problem that both you have at home, and also sort of mixologists are so busy these days. They want simple 2 and 3 quick ingredient recipes that just seem more elaborate. So with the chai, if you want to do something low ABV, it's amazing just with cold brew. That's my favorite. Or of course, as a creamer, any of them are fantastic as creamers in hot or cold coffee. And then the chai mixes really well with any brown spirit. I like it with scotch and whiskey in particular.
Nice.
Scotch we were talking about, right? And so the recipes are generally, 1 to 2 parts of the brown liquid to sort of 2 to 3 parts of the Sōmrus. And then we do have some more elaborate recipes on the website with gin and vodka as well. So it's very versatile. We've seen everything happen with those.
It goes a lot of directions, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And that's important. I think when you can have something that can go, lots of amazing images I see on your Instagram. You're pouring these into coffee and also into tea, into all kinds of things, right? I mean, this can go into so many places.
The mango we see with coconut water, the pineapple one in particular. And again, if you want a low ABV drink, it tastes like a pina colada, but it's like 3% alcohol after you add the coconut water to it. And then, of course, the mango and tequila is absolutely my favorite. But interesting things, I just heard this morning, someone put the mango over Greek yogurt, just plain Greek yogurt, and that's a fun little thing. So
just put a little mango over the just some Greek yogurt. It's kind of livens up your yogurt in the morning.
Exactly. So that's quite
great plan. Well, let's take a look at the mango. Here's the mango bottle. A little different. It's a little silver. I like the color combo on the bottle here. And this is, so you put mangoes in this.
That's right. We put Alfonso mangoes in this, which is known as the king of mangoes, and I think you'll be able to tell a little bit why. So this is different than the chai, that this is just one clear profile. So it's the Alfonso mango, and that's the mango that sort of in the culinary world is really considered to be the cream of the crop. And so we wanted to put that flavor and, again, high quality ingredients into a liqueur. So I'm curious because you'll taste more than mango, I think, when you taste this and smell it.
Yes.
It comes out a little, again, it's just one flavor profile, but it comes out a bit more complex, which is quite fun.
Yeah, that you can really tell it's the real fruit. And, I've always been a fan of mango lassis with Indian food. And I, as I was telling you, we had a variety of Indian dishes the other night, and we had this with it just with ice. And I said, this really feels like the best, spirited mango lassi. It's like you're really drinking a mango lassi, but this is a little bit more complex. It's really nice.
No, and thank you. Right. So that's what we hear from buyers as well, is they want to offer mango drinks, but sometimes they're just too sweet and they're sort of a little chemical in nature in terms of the mango.
Yes.
I really wanted it to feel like you're eating a mango or drinking a mango.
Yeah, it's the sweetness is, it has a nice delicate sweetness, but it doesn't go too far, which many cream liqueurs do.
Yeah, because you have the cream to balance it, but you still don't want the mango to be overpowering to the cream. And that's what is fun about the Alfonso. It's a very delicate mango. And then I don't know if you're picking up on, there's some other, we always get people saying there's some other fruit flavors that they're picking up on, like peach and apricot a little bit, even though they're not.
There's some kind of soft notes, yeah.
Yes, even though they're actually not in there. So it tastes a little bit like a fruit medley, which is quite lovely.
And where do you think that comes from? That cream that goes in with it? Where do you think the those elements come from?
The actual mango tastes like that. So if you have an Alfonso mango, it has this really interesting, first of all, it doesn't have the typical sort of threads that a mango has. It's very easy to eat. It's very soft and luscious. And then it has this really lovely flavor profile that is just very unique versus other mangoes. So
excellent. I'm going through the questions here. I noticed Annabelle asked, at what part of the process, when you're dealing with the spices, what part of those spices infuse? Where does it all happen?
Where does the magic happen, right? So actually the spices, that flavor profile has to be made separately by itself first, because it has to be really tweaked to be the right amount of cardamom, saffron, rose, pistachio, and almond. And then it's mixed with the cream base afterwards. And so, in order for us to make sure there's consistency in the flavor profiles, we do a lot of work on making the spice mixture first.
It's really good. Someone else asking, where can we find these? You're in a lot of places. How many states are you in?
We're in 21 states now. And
21 states.
Yeah, it's quite fun. So we have a fantastic where to buy tool on Sōmrus.com. And then, so we've been opening up a bunch of new accounts. We just opened up Walmart in Florida, actually during the pandemic. So we're quite lucky that we've gotten support of some of the big guys. We're in Total Wine in a bunch of places. We're in ABC in Florida. We're in Binny's and Barn here in Chicago.
Wow.
And we're in quite a few actually sort of larger places. We're in Pennsylvania in the PLCB, which is quite lovely. So anyone just plop in your zip code, and then we also have an online store. So if you don't have it near you, we've seen a lot of online orders recently, as people are sort of wanting some treats for home.
You can get it online. So anywhere you are in the U.S., you can find this. What do these bottles go for?
They're about 25. Depends on where you are. I think they're
beautiful.
They're about
25. They're so tasty and complex, and I would imagine a lot of people actually keep the bottle just as a decorative piece.
Yes, we have seen bottle art as well from some of our fans, which is quite lovely.
You've seen people just keep the bottle and paint them and do.
Yeah, we've seen people keep the bottle, paint them. We've seen people make sculptures out of the bottle or use them for plants. So we've seen quite a few things. It's quite nice. So.
Excellent. That's so good. And again, you're watching Bourbon Blog Live. Make sure wherever you're watching this on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, like this, share this, bookmark it. Also bookmark bourbonblog.com/live. Again, it's Monica Badlani of the Sōmrus Cream Liqueurs. So many great flavors, and we're really proud tonight to be the first to unveil this on Bourbon Blog. This is the world premiere of the coffee. And how was this inspired? How was the coffee inspired? And tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think I was mentioning that, in India, about half the country drinks chicory-based coffee. And so
Yes.
The really popular drink, and cold coffee itself, which is just that mixed with milk and sugar over ice, is very, very popular. And so again, we just thought, well, we need to make that into a spiked rum liqueur. And so that's where it comes from. But people who are familiar with New Orleans coffee, it'll taste very familiar to them. And that's what you're tasting, is that chicory adds a really lovely complexity to the liquid. So we wanted these to be very unique in terms of flavor profiles that people couldn't find elsewhere.
You're going to get some chicory as well on this. And I should probably also say, you are there's a lot of people putting some nice cream liqueurs out there more and more, but you're the most awarded cream liqueur in the world.
Yeah, well, thank you for mentioning that. So we started off with just the chai-based liqueur, and that year we were named, Cream Liqueur of the Year by International Spirits Competition, and then we went on to win double gold in San Fran, and then we went on to win the Food and Beverage Innovation Award at the National Restaurant Association, which that year no other alcohol had won. So that was quite lovely. Then we launched Mango, again, Cream Liqueur of the Year, again, double gold. And so, we realized that people really do appreciate the effort that we're putting in to make these sort of very high quality creams.
Congratulations on that. That is so exciting. See, Donald Snyder of Whiskey Systems is glad to see that it's in Florida. He says he's going to go pick up some in Florida. So definitely, we appreciate everybody who's watching, who's going to be trying some of these for the first time. They're all amazing. There's no wrong choice, but they're all great choices. The coffee will be out when then? We're going to taste it, but the coffee's coming out when?
Yes. So here's what happened. So I want to announce some exciting news today. So the coffee was supposed to come out in September, but we have just received so much, interest and people requesting samples. And like I said, Tom, you got your bottle before I got mine.
I'm so excited. I was so thrilled. Once I opened it right away and tried it.
It's really hot off the press. So we have now buyers who are interested in launching it in August. And so I think we're going to push up the launch date for this. And so again, if you're interested and if you have an account that you normally buy from, just tell them it's available in August a little bit early and they can get it.
Wow. So you're going to be able to find this coffee in August. Let's give it a try. I think there's already a lot of, and see that wonderful dark. I mean, all the colors of these too, they're all very distinct colors. So you really get an idea. The chai, the coffee, the mango. I mean, these are really just so beautiful. The colors of these are so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
So there is those nice creamy coffee, kind of almost latte aromas, and that chicory is coming through. There's some other spices on this too. Are there other spices in this?
No, they're not. I think it's just the blend of that chicory. I think it replicates sort of the Indian coffee, even though there's nothing else in there. So I'm curious if you taste it. If you it's quite delicious.
Yeah, it's really it reminds me, quite a bit of some of the, like we said before, the coffees I've had in New Orleans.
Yes.
That spice just really it tastes like this best like latte. This is real coffee flavor. This is real stuff. This is so good.
No, absolutely. And I can't say which is my favorite, but right now coffee is, I can't stop drinking it.
Maybe even a little bit, it has a little of that mocha, almost a little chocolatey too. It's just, there's so much going on with the coffee. What kind of cocktails are you going to be doing with the coffee then? I mean, obviously it's great by itself or on the rocks, but any...
Absolutely. And so I think coffee, all three of them are also fantastic, like in ice creams and in desserts and stuff. But I think coffee, what will happen is people will drink it on its own or in sort of, again, brown spirits-based cocktails. I don't know if you have this one, but I made another cocktail, which is literally just bourbon, the coffee, and some orgeat. And so it's 2 ounces of Sōmrus coffee, half ounce of bourbon. On this was a little bit lighter, and half ounce of orgeat. And we'll have to make sure that you try this one because it is.
I saw the recipe. I gotta try that. So what? How did those come together? Tell me how the orgeat, how the bourbon, how the magic happens.
So the bourbon and the coffee, of course, really sort of are lovely together, right? Because they will balance each other in terms of the sweetness and stuff. The orgeat, I think, adds that little bit of. So we've got a lovely national brand ambassador, and so she's able to, again, with 2 and 3 ingredient recipes, bring out a complexity that you can make at home or an establishment can put on their menu, right? And so she was just playing around and sort of added the orgeat, and it elevated the cocktail to a completely different level. I just had the coffee and the bourbon on its own, and that's also quite delicious, as you can imagine. But I think just sort of playing around with those notes a little bit was quite a lovely addition.
That's excellent. There are three amazing flavors, I'm sure, and obviously I'm sure you're already thinking about other flavors for the future that will just be just as amazing. But for now, these 3 are just so incredible. Had you ever mixed any of these together, or would any of these work mixed together, you think?
No, I think they would. That consumers have done that. I have not personally mixed them together, but I think that they would. They do complement. They're very different, right? And so I think that some of our accounts, I know someone tried to mix the chai and the mango together and made a dessert out of that. So that was quite lovely. But
that sounds incredible. And you all have been doing a lot, I know, since COVID, with your small brand, big heart campaign to benefit the children of restaurant employees, and that's obviously such an important cause. So many great causes that are helping out the restaurant employees themselves. This particular cause actually helping out the children of those restaurant employees. Tell us about that campaign.
Yeah, so Tom, I think we're quite lucky. We, as a small brand, still grew during the pandemic. Our sales, depletions this year over last are higher, if you can imagine, which is quite lovely. And so we feel very blessed. We also know that it's because the on-premise community was very supportive of us when we first started, and we really needed the encouragement, right? And so when the pandemic hit, that's exactly the community that was the hardest hit. And so what we tried to do early on was that we started, sort of supporting accounts that we had a strong relationship with. So here in Chicago, Kamiko and Let Us Entertain You, we tried to, because they all had GoFundMe campaigns, right? Just to sort of say thank you to their employees and make sure that they actually could get some support during this time period. And then,
right.
As things went on, we realized that sort of wasn't enough. And so we started this small brand, big heart campaign, which is essentially, it's a little bit unique. So it's a campaign on GoFundMe. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise awareness amongst other brands and other just people who sort of appreciate Sōmrus, so our network in general. And so we've seeded the account with a few $1,000s. We want to raise $25,000 in the short term. And we invite viewers and we invite other brands to participate with us. And then we want to keep it open because we know that the on-premise community is not going to get back to normal for a while. And so we're trying to raise over the year $125,000, and we will match up to that as well. So
wow.
That is what it's about. Because at any time you want to say thank you, just drop a couple of dollars into this campaign, and we will match it.
That's incredible. It's kind of a long link, but I think you could go on to GoFundMe and just search small brand, big heart. But that's the actual link below. We encourage everyone to go on there and support it. Share this. Obviously, share this video. Share that link. Share everything these great people are doing from Sōmrus, because it really is a brand with heart, and you will have a lot of passion that comes through in your cocktails, in your spirits, and really, again, just something that's really brought so many flavors together, from India to Wisconsin, the Caribbean rum. The flavors are just so spot on. I mean, these are so well done, and obviously very well deserved. On the awards that you have won, and I know your spirits are used in a variety of really well-known Indian restaurants around the country, aren't they?
Yeah, no, and Tom, if you don't mind, I want to say one more thing about the GoFundMe.
No, please do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I think that I want to mention something about COO, because they're a pretty impressive organization.
Yes.
So COO, when the pandemic hit, I think people who could were trying to find different ways to sort of give back. But it was tough because there was all these new campaigns that were being started at the time, and you didn't really always know where the money was going. And so we have worked with COR for a while in the past. COR has been around for over 15 or 20 years, I would say, and they have always been around to help families of the bar and restaurant community through emergency situations. So they were already set up to deploy the funds right away. And so we knew that's who we wanted to sort of work with. And so you'll see some other sort of larger accounts as well, larger suppliers as well, sort of trying to work with COR because they actually know how to utilize the funds. And so I wanted to pass that along because I think it's sometimes tough to know where your money's going. And I think with them, it really goes directly into the people who sort of need it the most. And they help people with everything from utilities to housing to groceries. So it's quite a lovely, like there's no expense that's sort of off limits, so for them. So that's why we chose to sort of support them. That's incredible. We put the link down there below too, in case you just want to learn about the thank you.
About the nonprofit. Yes, it's corgives.org. What great work they are doing, and it's still as the hospitality industry, even though many places reopening, not quite what it was, they still do need all the help we can.
That's right.
We can give them. So definitely check out corgives.org as well. Great work you guys are doing there. That's
So now I want to answer your question. Sorry about
No, that's fine. Please.
So so on-premise is such an interesting space. So like I'm going to answer it in a couple of different ways actually. Yeah. Most brands, that's really how consumers find out about you is, through an on-premise menu. They're tasting a lovely cocktail that they've never heard before because it's, you have a trusted bartender or someone that you say, hey, can you introduce me to something new? And that's how you find out about it. And so it was quite fun early on because, like I was saying, we had actually both Indian and non-Indian restaurants that were like, wow, this cream is just very different, very mixable. Right. Use it in cocktails versus just after dinner, which is where cream normally sits as your after dinner drinks, right? And so I think you saw that, Janoon in New York has sort of first started with us and put us really in just a simple drink that was just tea and the chai liquid, and that did really well. Did so well actually that they talked about launching that in Dubai when we launched Dubai internationally as well. So that
wow.
Was we have the Epcot Food and Wine Festival did.
Yes.
They did actually. To answer your other question about mixing flavors, they put the chai with fresh mangoes and made a mango lassi of their own that had a chai sort of kick to it. And for that, Epcot Food and Wine we've done for a couple of years. And for there, it was just, again, they were trying to find something new and interesting that their consumers would love. And so when they found us, we right away went on that menu. In Tennessee, in Nashville, we've got a Burger Republic doing a boozy milkshakes with our liquids, and that's quite fun. And Kamiko here in Chicago, which is a lovely Japanese restaurant and one of the best bars in the world, actually, is doing a variety of drinks. One is the chai flip, so using the chai in place of egg whites. And so some of these accounts, since we have long-term relationships with them, as the pandemic hit, again, another way to help was to give them great sort of to-go cocktail solutions. So it's interesting, right? So what was happening was that, some of these places, of course, we know that bars and restaurants depend so heavily on the alcohol margins, and that was going away in their to-go offerings in terms of their food. And so we saw a variety of states across the country start to allow to-go cocktails. And first it was sort of to-go cocktail kits where you had to sort of offer the full bottle, of the alcohol. And then it became, you could sort of make the to-go cocktail and sell that to go in a usable cup. And so Burger Republic was the very first one actually that did their boozy milkshakes to go.
Oh wow!
So we supported that quite heavily.
The boozy. So what are in the boozy milkshakes with your cream liqueurs?
So that ends up being, again, it's sort of, some of them are actually vodka and gin based, so that's a little bit different. But wow. It was the cream liqueur with that kind of base. Sometimes it has a non-alcoholic base. Sometimes the coconut water, it comes in handy with that as well. And so these recipes are all on the website as well. But you can make a great 12-ounce drink that's not too alcoholic, which is quite fun. Kamiko did hers with gin, so Julia did hers with gin as well over there. So it was quite lovely to see what people were coming up with in terms of the to-go offering.
That is cool, and coincidentally, Janoon is actually a place I know quite well. I've hosted a few whiskey tastings there over the years.
Oh, of course.
And I was just there, the bartender Hemant, he was actually in India when I was there in March. I was there for a restaurant show in March, but he and I did a really fun dinner about a year ago there. Yeah. And I love that place. I actually got to go dine there right before the shutdown happened in March when I was there, but I love Janud. It's such an amazing place.
Hemant is lovely. And so you have to ask him about his Sōmrus. He made a lovely Sōmrus gin fizz actually for us.
Oh, wow.
Which was really nice. He's very creative. And
he is such a talented guy, such a great guy. Yeah, that's so you're really in so many places that appreciate what you've done have really embraced Sōmrus and continue to. And I think it's just something that whether it's an Indian restaurant or any type of bar would really, it's an amazing offering, but especially to complement the cuisines. This is such a an obvious choice if you're going to an Indian restaurant that serves this type of thing. Ask for Sōmrus. Maybe they'll come up with their own creation. I think it would really be amazing. What's that?
I think they will.
I hope they will. I think it's a good compliment for everything. So again, you can buy it online. You can buy it in 22 states. I'll put the website up there again. Yeah. What's next for Sōmrus then? You have the coffee. Any other things come up we want to talk about?
Yeah, so we're gonna definitely expand in the U.S. And so real quick, we've actually gotten quite a few inquiries from retailers, during this downtime, because I think people have the time to figure out how they want to grow this year. And so both distributors and retailers are reaching out to us, which is quite nice. I think that it's quite fun to see that this is a tough industry, right? And so I think like if you're sort of have consumer interest during this time period, it's a good sign, right? And so we've had our very first thing. What's next for us is to sort of expand with our distributor partners so that we can be national. So right now we work with RNDC and Young's and Breakthrough, and then a bunch of smaller distributors as well. But in the states that we're not in, we're going to be expanding. So all of your listeners get to not only order online, but go into the store and discover us there. And then this year, we're also expanding internationally. So if you have any listeners that are outside the U.S., we will be touching the Caribbean, Asia, and I think probably the U.K. pretty soon as well. So it'll be quite lovely to see that. Then in terms of liquid, which might be what you were asking, we want to really sort of invest heavily in these three. In the future, there of course will be innovation coming out, and I think what I will do is be in touch with you, Tom, when we do innovate again, and let your listeners know, what's up next. But in the meantime, I think we're gonna just really enjoy having these lovely liqueurs and all the great attention that we're getting, especially for coffee as we launch that in the fall.
You have some amazing products, and it'll be exciting to see everything that unfolds, the new markets you go into, and to see what's next. And again, perfect any time of the year, but I do want to go ahead and say it is National Mango Day on July 22nd. So, and I see our friends from Man Tripping and Chick Vacations, James and Heather, I see you watching there. So they always like National Day. So I'll go ahead and say this. It's Mango Day, July 22nd, and National Ice Cream Day, July 19th, which any of them would work out with. So these are some great excuses to mix with Sōmrus, but you don't even need an excuse just to start.
That's right.
Start wherever. It's just, it's really good stuff. It's very, it's just so easy to drink. It's so light. It's so different than other cream liqueurs, and it's and that rum is there too. You do get that rum flavor. It's really amazing. It's great stuff.
No, I think that's, so when we hear stuff like that, we're very humbled because that was the intent, right? And so I remember someone early on sort of saying, how do you make cream liqueurs sexy? And I think that maybe we've accomplished that. So, I think that this category deserves some love and attention. And I think that, people will really enjoy it. There's another offering out there. I have a friend who says that a lot of bartenders are, love cream liqueurs, but they keep it behind the bar sometimes just because it's not some drink that they're super proud of, right? And so I think that recently there are definitely more cream liqueurs that we can be proud of, and I hope we're part of that category. So that's quite fun. And by the way, National Mango Day, you just mentioned it. So one of your listeners is going to ABC they're doing some promotions for National Mango Day. So the next couple of days, there's going to be some fun savings on Sōmrus at ABC. So definitely look out for that. And then, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Tom, but we actually founded National Chai Day in September.
Oh, you did?
So it's quite fun because the national days they're just fun. Like they're new selling holidays for retailers. And so we put a lot of effort into helping support that. And it's just a unique way for us to celebrate with consumers a flavor profile, right? And so we knew there was a National Mango Day a few years ago, and we were looking up, well, when is National Chai Day? And it just didn't exist. And so we wrote, there's actually a National Day registrar. And so we wrote to them saying that we wanted to start it, and they gave us rights to it. So we actually have rights for eternity on National Chai Day. But what's happened recently, because all these, the bigger days that are, a little bit unique, that there are lovers and followers of that day. So like National Mango Day, there's definitely lovers of mangoes. There's definitely National Coffee Day. That we wanted to follow that up with something like National Chai Day. And so last year we had a few other large accounts buyers follow us as well. So like David's Tea and like Marriott Hotels started to actually celebrate National Chai Day. And now we would like to, again, any restaurant or company that sort of celebrates chai, we want to celebrate with them as well. So that's what we're up to this year. And then luckily National Coffee Day is just right after National Chai Day. And so we think that we originally were going to launch coffee on National Coffee Day in September. And now with the interest that we're getting, we're going to launch it about a month early.
So you got National Chai Day. You're going to have you have a National Day for all these.
Of course, we do. And we, it's funny because two of them, sort of already existed and when we got to create ourselves. So that's quite fun. And then, I think one more thing I want to mention is that, for all of these, of course, there's going to be great promotions around the country and stuff. But, I think that they're a bit broader than just, we want to celebrate the idea of these flavors with our consumers as well.
Right. There's a lot to celebrate here. And a lot of people, someone watching on Twitter, Moeller says, excited for the coffee.
Yes, thank you.
Heather Hill's saying, my favorite thing is cream liqueur. She's looking forward to trying those. Someone asked Aaron on YouTube, is rum a common base when making liqueurs? They're made of a lot of things sometimes, right?
That's a great question. Yeah. So rum is the common base, but whiskey is probably the more common base, I would say, right? And then some of them, some products went from whiskey to neutral grain, and they just have a whiskey flavor profile in them. So you have to be really careful in what you're actually drinking, right? So rum happens to be the base that complements our flavor profile the best. And so it's quite lovely to be unique in that way as well.
Yeah, that's really incredible. So again, just available in the U.S. for right now in those states. Right. Are there any plans? I mean, obviously, so many places, as we were saying earlier. I used to live in England. I mean, I know Indian food's huge. There any plans for any international markets?
Yeah, Tom, we're getting so many requests, and so I think we've been pretty good about focusing our efforts on the U.S. because we want to, walk before we run, right, type thing. But I think the requests have built up to a level where we actually just hired a wonderful guy from Sazerac to come join our team, and he's going to be heading up our global operations. And so this is a person named Guy May who's just joined us. And so, yes, we are absolutely prepping for international. And I think I could probably announce this now too, but that you'll be seeing Sōmrus in airports and duty-free airports pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
So
yes. That may be one of the first places we'll see you internationally.
Yes, that's correct. But you're right, Tom. UK is absolutely a natural fit with all of the Indian flavors that are in both Indian cuisine and outside of that as well. It's the Indian spices are used pretty broadly there. Yeah.
Well, this is definitely going to be a good pairing here in a little while. I think most people saw them, but I did get some samosas to pair with. These are all going to be good. I think especially the mango will be good with the Indian samosas. But congratulations on this. These are all. I don't even know if I could pick a favorite. They're all just incredible.
Tom, you have to pick a favorite. Or tell me what you like about each. How about that?
I like the fact that the chai is just so light, and I think would work incredibly well in teas. And it's just so easy drinking. The mango, I think, for me, would probably be one of the best to pair with food like Indian cuisine. And I love the coffee because it's dessert-like. I think it'd be great kind of with it might even be with a cigar. It could be. It's possible.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I'll have to try that. I haven't.
That could work, couldn't it? We do cigars every Saturday night here on Bourbon Blog Live, so we may have to try that. One of these.
And let me know.
I will. I'll try the coffee with a cigar. These are all
be a great gift set, huh? Cigars and cream liqueur. Sōmrus
I think it could work. This could work. And it's one of those unexpected pairings, because you're not really thinking about these unexpected flavors that are in the cream liqueur. So these are all unexpected pairings. So yeah. So well, thanks so much, Monica Badlani, COO and partner of Sōmrus Cream Liqueur. Again, if you're just joining us, I see a few folks, Courtney and Unique Captured, a lot of great people just joining us. We have just unveiled the coffee cream liqueur, so make sure you, once this finishes up, hit the whatever the equivalent is to the rewind button on your social media. Like this, share this, watch all about the new coffee. And tomorrow night, our guest will be Ivy Mix. She's just released a book, Spirits of Latin America. And for those of you that don't know Ivy Mix, she is the owner of Brooklyn's Leyenda, famous bar there. This is going to be a lot of fun. Have you been to Leyenda in Brooklyn by chance?
No, I haven't. But
yeah. So we're gonna go through here and see which of these cocktails we can make, and do some Spirits of Latin. But we went all the way from India tonight, Latin America tomorrow night. We're going around the world this week, Monica.
That's fantastic. And if anyone, I really appreciate your time, Tom. This is
you're so welcome. You're so welcome. It's really been a joy to chat with you and to try these cocktails. The Julep was incredible. It mixes so well.
Thank you. And for any of your viewers, if you have any questions, please email us at just info@somrus.com. Or write to us on any of the social channels, and we're happy to. We love chatting with our consumers, and sharing fun cocktail usages and all that stuff. So appreciate everyone's support.
Thank you, Monica. Great chatting, and as you say in Hindi, right? Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.